Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we're gonna just horse around. Let's talk serious. So today it's gonna be part 2 of how to be cool. You know, the summer opening specials. So what we're gonna be doing today is we will flush the the radiator, the cooling system. We, yo, we. You need to do this because you know the coolant, the composition degrades over time due to heat and many other factors. So you need to replace it. The truck hasn't been replaced for the past 3 years. It definitely needs one. So we are gonna get a flushing agent and then we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So hope you'll enjoy this video. Like and subscribe. Please. So please forgive my messy storage system. It is already organized for us. Anyways, we need Josh, flushing agent. We need coolant. We need this. How many do we need? I think we need 3. So these are premix, prediluted. What else? I think that's it. Let's go. Okay, so first thing we have to do is to pour this in. And instruction, Josh. Here.
It's not English. Oh.
It's English.
Drain cooling system. Add content to system and fill with tap water. Turn on heater and run engine for 10 minutes at idle. Stop engine, drain radiator, and refill cooling system according to manufacturer directions. That's all.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna crack the drain plug open, if we can see it from here. There's the drain plug. So in order for us to get access to that, we might have to remove the filter. So what we're gonna do is open it a little bit, drain a little bit of fluid so we can add in the flushing agent.
Let me know if this will be.
close the top, clear the engine bay. So Josh, start it up, and then we will just wait for this to heat up. That's the time when the thermostat has opened. And then we will time it for 10 minutes.
So the hose is warm, meaning the water is already circulating. Let's time 10 minutes and let's get back to it. While we're waiting for it, let's discuss some basic stuff.
Cooling system is the one responsible for keeping your engine within operating temperature. So what is it composed of? So you have your radiator, have your lower hose going to the water pump, going in your engine block, and then going to cylinder head, then goes to the heater core, and then goes back to the radiator through the upper hose. So how does it work? Hot water that is in the radiator is being cooled by a fan. So it's either a electric fan or a mechanical fan. Most of the time it's attached on the water pump. So the hot coolant inside the radiator is cooled down by the fan, which is controlled by a thermostat switch attached on the hot side of the radiator. So once this temperature switch senses a specific temperature, it will command the fan to turn on. Water is cooled inside the radiator because the fan pushes a colder air through the fins that cools down the fluid or the coolant, and then it goes through the cold side of the radiator. Once it's here, it will go back through the engine through the lower hose by the pump. So the pump pulls water or coolant from the radiator going back to the engine. Then once it's in the engine, it will absorb the heat of the engine, go to the cylinder head, and then goes back to the radiator. So it's a cycle. Now there's one important part that we all need to know. It's the thermostat, which is here. So the thermostat is a valve. It's a control valve. It controls a flow of fluid. So different vehicles has different ratings of control valve. The rating is depending on what's the operating temperature of a vehicle. So like for example, for the truck, it's 180 Fahrenheit to 200 or 210 Celsius. I think it's 82 Celsius to, I don't know, 90 degrees Celsius. So the thermostat will be depending on what's the optimum operating temperature of the vehicle. The reason for that is this will be closed. It will not allow fluid to go through until it reaches this temperature. So once it reaches this temperature, it will now allow fluid to go through the thermostat. It's not a close open action. It's not. It will open a little bit or it will open 100%. So it really depends on what the temperature is. So if it's 180, it might flow a constant current, or it will just maintain this temperature. So if you push your engine hard, or you're in a extreme, temperature condition, the temperature will rise faster. So this will need to open, bigger, to let the fluid flow faster. So once the hot water or the coolant goes out, it goes back to the radiator, and then it's cooled down by the fan again. So again, two control measures. In some vehicles, there's three. There's your thermostat, there's your thermostat switch, and there's your water pump. In some vehicles, water pump are electric, so it turns on when it needs to pump fluid. So these three combined, they have two responsibility. One is temperature, so they try to control the temperature within the specific vehicle temperature. Second is flow, so it controls flow. Well, not all of them. Pump and thermostat controls flow. So what's flow? Flow is the current of the fluid coming through. So let's make it simple. Let's say this is a pipe, this is a hot part, and this is the cold part. Water flows through here. If the water flows fast, then there will be not enough time for the cold part to cool down the water. So what it does, what the thermostat does, is it slows down the fluid to pass through, so it will have more time to cool it down. That the thermostat slows down the flow of the fluid, so that the cold side of the radiator will have enough time to cool it down. So what could be potential faults of the cooling system? One is your radiator passages could be blocked. It limits the radiator's ability to cool down fluid. Next is your fan. Fan might not be working 100%. Thermostat could be stuck. It could be stuck open, or it could be stuck closed, or stuck in a certain position. Your water pump might not be pumping enough fluid. Oh, by the way, there's another fan in some vehicles, like the truck. It doesn't have an electric fan. So the mechanical fan, which is attached most of the time on the water pump, is controlled with a temperature clutch. The fan is controlled by a clutch, so it's called a clutch fan, because it's not actually rotating 100% with the water pump. It has a clutch fan. Let me see if I have one here. So this is a clutch fan. So the fans are attached to it, and then This is attached to the pump. So this is for the X5. It has this metal that bends on a specific temperature. So once this flexes to a specific arc, this will then catch the fan, and the fan will now move more efficiently to cool down the radiator. So clutch fan and electric fan. Another important part which I drew here is the heater core. Well, the heater core has two functions. The the main function, of course, of the heater core is to provide heat in the cabin. But there's a second function. This could be your emergency radiator. If you have an overheating situation, one thing you can do under HVAC control, turn on your heat and then turn on the fan on high. This will allow all the hot coolant to go through it and be cooled down by the blower, the AC blower. So this could help you, prevent a catastrophic situation when you're having an overheating condition. So that's it. I think it's already 10 minutes, and let's go back to it. Take the keys. So let's cool it down a little bit, and then we will drain the system. So the engine is cool now, so it's time to crack the drain plug open. Josh will get some samples so we can compare it later on. The process will be draining it now, closing it again, filling it up with distilled water, running the engine for a minute or so, draining it again, closing it up, about 5 times, so until we get a clear sample. So this is our first sample. We are just draining it direct to the floor because this is just water. Because I actually did replace this with water. It's just my own procedure, but you don't have to copy it. If you have coolant in it, don't let it drain to the floor. You need to capture it in a canister and have it disposed of properly. After 7 or 8 times, I lost count of refilling and draining. This is our result. So flushing is done. Next thing to do is just fill it up with 50-50 premix coolant. So while we're waiting for this to drain, let me show you this to you. So I cleaned this with bleach. I think it did a very well job. No more rust inside, maybe a little bit, but better than before. So we're gonna fill it up with this one, Dex Cool, ACDelco, prediluted 50-50. So no need to add water. So after flushing, we actually spent about 60 liters of distilled water, just to perfectly flush it. So I'm putting this back, and then Josh will fill it up. So that's the technique when pouring, so that it will not burp.
Okay, you're spilling it. Come on. So that's 4.
So we've topped up the fluid. What we're gonna do now is add some additives. What we're using is Purple Ice by Royalpurple. It's a good surfactant, and it it decreases surface tension. By the way, they're not paying me to say this stuff, but I like this. I like Royalpurple, so I've used them for decades, and they haven't failed me. So we need in this vehicle, if we have filled it with 8 quarts, then you need to put in 16 ounces. So this is 12 ounces. So that means it's the whole bottle that we're going to use. I'm actually squeezing this to remove more of the bubbles. Very good. So that's it for today. We have finished our cooling system flushing and refilling. All we need to do is just replace this charcoal filter and top up the reservoir, and we're done. Hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's it. Peace out.